art and culture perspective, most importantly in the mains examination. So now students, we are going to start with our lecture. I'm going to first talk about the Mathura School of Art. Now students, before starting this particular school of art, I would like to tell you that whenever we are studying any topic which is pertaining to any type of art, there are certain things that we need to keep in our mind. Now, what are those things? First of all, we will remember the time period, all right? The time period in which any particular school had started and the peak, that is the time period in which it was flourishing all over the area. Next, students, we are going to remember the important centers pertaining to any school of art. Okay. Apart from that, we will remember the dynasties that were prevalent at the flourishing of any particular school of art and were patronizing the same. Okay. Then, with respect to the art school itself, we will remember that what were the themes that were depicted in any particular school of art. And apart from that, we are going to obviously remember the material of construction. Okay, so these are certain points that you need to keep in your mind. You need to remember whenever we are talking about any particular school of art. All right, so the same is going to be done in the Mathura School of Art. Let's begin, students. Now, first of all, as I have told you, the first thing that we need to know is the time period in which any particular school of art began and under which dynasty. Having said that, students, the first point in Mathura School of Art that we need to remember is that it flourished or started during the 1st century AD, and it flourished mainly during the reign of the Kushan Emperor Kanishka. Okay, so the dynasty is Kushan, and the prominent emperor during which the Mathura School of Art flourished was Kanishk. All right, and the time period will be 1st century AD. Apart from the students, the most important point with respect to the Mathura School of Art will be that it had no foreign influence on it. Okay, so this particular point is very important, that Mathura School of Art had developed indigenously. That is, no foreign influence whatsoever. Apart from the students, now we are going to talk about the important centers of the Mathura School of Art. Now, the name of school is itself suggestive that Mathura is the main traditional center of production with respect to these art forms. And apart from this, there were another important centers as well, such as Sarnath and Kaushambi. So the three important centers of Mathura School of Art include Mathura itself, then there is Sarnath, and then there is Kaushambi. Okay. Now, students, the next important point that I had told you that you need to remember with respect to any school of art is that the material of construction that was most used while creating any particular sculptures or any art. Now, students, having said that, in Mathura School of Art, the material of construction was spotted red sandstone. Now, what is spotted red sandstone? It is something that is depicted in this image as well. So you have to remember that spotted red sandstone was the choice of construction material with respect to the artists of Mathura School. Now, students, the next important thing that you need to know is that this art had reached its peak during the Gupta period, that is in the 6th or 7th century AD. Okay, so here in students, as I have told you, we have covered the time period. We have covered the important centers. We have covered the dynasty that was prevalent during the flourishing of Mathura School of Art. Also, we have covered the time period in which the climax of any particular school of art has reached, and herein it will be the Gupta period. Okay. Now, students, we are going to talk about the themes that were depicted in the Mathura School of Art. Apart from the students, I would also like to tell you that we have also covered the material of construction, that is spotted red sandstone. So now we are going to move on to the next topic, that is what were the themes that were depicted in the Mathura School of Art. Having said that, students, you must know that the Mathura school images include the Buddha, Bodhisattvas. Also, it includes Brahmanical images such as Vishnu, Shiva, Yakshas, and Yakshinis. Now, what are Yakshas and Yakshinis, students? Yakshas and Yakshinis are basically demigods and goddesses in Hindu mythology. All right. So whatever gods who are guarding the gates in front of the temple are considered as Yakshas and Yakshinis, and they are also known as demigods and goddesses. All right. Apart from that, students, even certain jinas are depicted in the Mathura School of Art. Now, students, what are jinas? Jinas is basically a term that is used in context of Jainism. All right. In Jainism, the enlightened one or the venerated one is the person who is considered as the Jina, or in short, we can say that the Tirthankaras are something that are considered as Jinas. So here in students, from these examples such as Buddha, Bodhisattva, Vishnu, Shiva, Jinas, etc., we can understand that the Mathura school of art thematic wise was incorporating the entire religious corpus pertaining to Brahmanism, Jainism, as well as Buddhism. So it was not depicting any single particular religion. Rather, it was taking up the aspects of all the religions that were prevalent at that point of time, such as Brahmanism, Jainism, and Buddhism. So you have to remember the themes as well. Now, students, here an important point for you to remember is that the Jina images and the indigenous style of Buddha image was a remarkable feature of Mathura art. Now, in the previous slide, students, I had told you that one of the prominent features of Mathura School of Art is that it is completely indigenous. That is, it is absolutely free from foreign influences, which is something that is an anomaly in Indian art and culture, you know, because there are a lot of art that is taking a lot of influence from the surrounding areas. And that is why this example of Mathura School of Art will be a separate example because it is absolutely indigenous. Now, students, we are going to talk about some important examples that have been depicted as a part of the Mathura School of Art. Under that, students, the Mathura sculptures include Bhima Kadphises and Kanishk. So both of these are Kushana rulers and they were depicted as a part of the Mathura School of Art. Okay. Apart from this, another important example of Mathura School of Art is the Parkham Yaksha. Yaksha, I have again told you, Yakshas are demigods, and Parkham is the place wherein this Yaksha was found, and it is ascribed to the Mathura School of Art. Right now, it is located in the Mathura Museum. Okay, so two examples from the Kushana dynasty. Then there was one demigod, that is Parkham Yaksha, and apart from the students, there is also one depiction of the seated Kuber. Now, what is seated Kuber? Kuber is basically considered the god of wealth in Hindu mythology, and this is something that has been depicted in the Mathura School of Art. So students, till now we have understood the choice of construction, the time period, the dynasty, the themes, and some important examples pertaining to the Mathura School of Art. I hope they are all clear to you. Now, students, the next important point that we are going to talk about is pertaining to the salient features of Mathura art. Once we have completed the factual data of any school of art, then we come to the examples such as पोर्ट्रेयल कैसा है किसी भी स्कल्पचर का, कैसे उसको पोर्ट्रे किया गया है, क्या क्या उसके अंदर फीचर्स हैं जो उसको बाकी स्कूल्स ऑफ आर्ट से स्टैंड आउट करते हैं, व्हाट आर द फीचर्स दैट मेक यू स्टैंड आउट फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट स्कूल्स ऑफ आर्ट, व्हाट इज समथिंग दैट shows that there is certain influence on their sculptures, or what is something that shows that they are completely indigenous. इन सब चीजों को समझने के लिए हमें हर एग्जाम्पल को स्टडी करना पड़ता है और उन एग्जाम्पल्स को हम अपने आंसर का पार्ट बनाते हैं in order to make the examiner understand that what are the important parts with respect to any sculpture in any particular school of art. All right. So now we are going to talk about the salient features. Herein, students, I would like to tell you that the most important part with respect to the Mathura School of Art is the depiction of Buddha. Okay. I know I have told you that there are certain Hindu gods and goddesses and even Jain images that have been depicted in the Mathura School of Art. But in this particular lecture, we are only going to focus on the Buddhist imagery, particularly the image of Buddha in the Mathura School of Art. And then we are going to compare it with the Gandhara School of Art, because this is something which is a very famous topic with respect to UPSC, and they tend to ask a lot of questions on this particular point. Okay. Now, students, as I had told you before, that the image of Buddha is very important with respect to Mathura school, because before the development of the Mathura school, Buddha was not depicted in human form in either Sanchi, Barhut or Gaya. बुद्धा को ह्यूमन फॉर्म में डिपिक्ट किया ही नहीं जाता था. जैसा कि आप लोग जानते होंगे, बुद्धिज्म के दो इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्ट थे, वन वाज महायान एंड वन वाज हिनायान. So Hinayan was an orthodox sect, whereas Mahayana is considered more liberal. All right. And it was during the Mahayana period that Buddha was started depicting in human form. Before that, he was only represented via symbols. symbols such as footprints or wheels, etc. Now, that is why the depiction of Buddha in a human form is something that creates a change, and again will be an important factual point. And this is something wherein the origin began in the Mathura School of Art. All right, students. So during the time period of Mathura and Gandhara School of Art, the depiction of Buddha, apart from the symbols, started in the anthropomorphic or human form. Okay. Herein, students, it will be important to note that the artisans from Mathura had initially continued to depict Buddha via symbols, but later on, the human image of Buddha had appeared, which was independent of other schools of art. यानी कि जो गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के अंदर डिपिक्शन हो रहा था बुद्धा का, वैसा बिल्कुल भी डिपिक्शन नहीं था मथुरा का. ये कंप्लीटली इंडिजिनस था. इन्होंने जैसे बुद्धा को डिपिक्ट किया है वो इनका अपना स्टाइल था. इसके ऊपर कोई भी इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं था. All right. Now, students, it will be important to note that the image of human Buddha in the Mathura School of Art was modeled on the images of yakshas. यक्षास अगेन स्टूडेंट्स आर डेमीगॉड्स. तो जैसे यक्षास को डिपिक्ट किया जाता था उन्हीं लाइंस के ऊपर इनिशियली मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में ह्यूमन बुद्धा को दिखाया गया या दर्शाया गया. All right. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that there were certain stages in which the depiction of Buddha constantly changed and gradually a particular style developed in Mathura School of Art as well. तो ऐसा होता है कि अगर कोई भी स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट है उसका जो इनिशियल या इंसेप्शन पॉइंट होता है उस टाइम पे जो वो लोग जिस तरह का स्कल्पचर बना रहे होते हैं विथ टाइम उसके अंदर ग्रेजुअल चेंजेस आते हैं और यही ग्रेजुअल चेंजेस हमें बुद्धा की इमेजरी में मथुरा स्कूल में भी देखने को मिलेंगे. Now, what are these changes? Let us talk about them. Now, students, the initial image makers did not care about the anatomically correct Buddha image. यानी कि इंडिया के अंदर अगर आप देखेंगे जैसे सांची, भरूच और गया के भी आप स्कल्पचरल ट्रेडिशंस देखेंगे तो हमारे यहाँ पे रियलिज्म का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है. जनरली व्हाट एवर स्कल्पचर्स वी सी आर नॉट वेरी appealing to a human eye. They are not very realistic in nature and they are rather robust, that is round, or colossal, that is big. Okay. And that is something that was also pursued in the Mathura School of Art. And that is why the image of Buddha was not considered to be anatomically correct. Okay, now this is in stark contrast with the Gandhara school, which we are just going to talk about, wherein the anatomy of Buddha was absolutely perfect and there were a lot of features that were identifying to the realism concept, which is something which is absent in the Mathura School of Art. Okay. Now, students, the early images of Buddha along with the Bodhisattvas are happy, fleshy figures with little spirituality about them. फ्लैशी फिगर्स का मतलब क्या होता है? जैसे मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल से बताती हूँ. अगर आपने देखा होगा लाफिंग बुद्धा की हमारे पास में सबके घर में एक तरह से उनकी इमेजरी होती है, उनके स्कल्पचर्स होते हैं एंड दैट बुद्धा इज रादर प्लम्पी, इट्स फ्लैशी. ओके, so that is something that was also incorporated in the sculptures of Mathura School of Art. It was not anatomically perfect, whereas if you will see the sculptures of Gandhara School of Art, you will see that the human imagery of Buddha is modeled upon Greek gods and goddesses, wherein there is a perfectly defined body. But this is something that was lacking in the initial depiction of Buddha from the Mathura School of Art perspective. Okay. Apart from the students, as I've told you, they were happy, fleshy figures and they had block-like compactness and smooth, close-fitting robe, which was almost entirely devoid of folds. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब ये होता है स्टूडेंट्स, आप ये पर्टिकुलर इमेज देखिए अपने स्क्रीन के ऊपर. ये जो डिपिक्शन है ये मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट का है बुद्धा का. अब यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे इनको एक रोब पहना रखी है, बट इट इज एब्सोल्युटली डिवॉइड ऑफ दी folds that are needed in any particular robe. Okay, तो इतना ज्यादा इन्होंने रियलिज्म पे या स्टाइलिस्टिक मैनर पे ध्यान नहीं दिया है. इनके फिगर्स भी थोड़े रोबस्ट हैं एंड कंपैरेटिवली रियलिटी का टच हमें इन इमेजेस में नहीं मिलता है. So you have to remember that the initial depiction of Buddha in the Mathura School of Art was rather robust. He was fleshy, he was plumpy, and even the clothes that were shown on the body of Lord Buddha had a closed fitting robe which was devoid of folds and did not seem very realistic in nature. All right. Now, students, apart from this, now I'm going to tell you the changes that happened over time with respect to the imagery of Lord Buddha. Okay. Now, students, the extreme fleshiness, as I just told you, was reduced after the 3rd century AD, and the surface features also got refined. तो यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स हमारा जो प्रीवियस पॉइंट है वो इस्टेब्लिश होता है, वो ये है कि कोई भी स्कूल जब स्टार्टिंग में शुरू होता है, कोई भी स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट, तो उसका जो कंसेप्शन होता है कि हमें किस तरह से स्कल्पचर बनाना है, वो विथ टाइम ग्रेजुअली चेंज होता है. ऑलराइट. तो इनिशियली जो इन्होंने किया था, इनिशियली जो इन्होंने बुद्धा की इमेज बनाई थी, वो काफी फ्लैशी थी, प्लम्पी थी, लेकिन 3rd सेंचुरी एडी आते आते ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को अलग कर दिया गया था और उनकी बॉडी और उनके कपड़ों को बहुत ही रिफाइंड मैनर में दर्शाना शुरू कर दिया गया था. All right. Now this trend continued in the 4th century AD as well, and the massiveness and fleshiness was reduced further. Along with that, the flesh became more tightened. यानी कि अगर आप देखेंगे, जैसे ग्रीक गॉड्स एंड गॉडेसेस होते हैं, उनकी बहुत ही परफेक्टली स्ट्रक्चर्ड डिफाइंड बॉडी होती है, ठीक है, जो भी स्कल्पचर्स हम देखते हैं. इसी तरह से गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के अंदर भी जो बुद्धा को डिपिक्ट किया गया है, उनकी जो बॉडी है वो रादर स्ट्रक्चर्ड है, बहुत ही रियलिज्म टाइप उसमें नजर आती है आपको. एंड ये चीज मथुरा में ग्रेजुअली डेवलप हुई. जो उनकी फ्लैशीनेस थी, जो उनकी रोबस्ट बॉडी थी, उसको धीरे धीरे इस ट्रेडिशन को गिव अवे किया गया, एंड अ मोर स्ट्रक्चर्ड बॉडी वाज समथिंग दैट वाज देन स्टार्टेड बीइंग स्कल्प्टेड बाय द स्कल्प्टर्स ऑफ मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that the halo around the head of Buddha was profusely decorated. ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. ये इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि ये मथुरा स्कूल को गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट से डिस्टिंग्विश करता है. क्योंकि जो गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट है उसमें जो हेलो होता है वो बहुत ज्यादा डेकोरेटेड नहीं है, जबकि मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में बहुत ज्यादा डिस्टिंग्विश्ड है. इसलिए अगर हमारे सामने 2 स्कल्पचर्स है बुद्धा के, एक मथुरा स्कूल का है, गांधारा स्कूल का है, तो हम सिर्फ हेलो देख के डिपिक्ट कर सकते हैं कि ये मथुरा स्कूल का है और ये गांधारा स्कूल का है. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, हेलो क्या होता है ये मैं आपको बताती हूँ. लेट्स से ये बुद्धा की मूर्ति है, उनके पीछे देयर इज दिस राउंड सर्कुलर थिंग, and this is known as a halo. All right, so this halo is decorated in the Mathura school of art, and it is decorated profusely. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that both the postures, that is the sitting and standing posture of Buddha along with Bodhisattva, were carved out as part of the Mathura school of art. Among them, some important examples include the standing Buddhas of Shravasti, Sarnath and Kaushambi. हमें एग्जाम्पल्स को स्टूडेंट्स याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि जब भी हम अपना मेंस का कोई आंसर लिखते हैं तो अपने कोई भी पॉइंट को अगर आपको सफाइस करना है या उसके लिए एक रैशनल देना है तो आपको एग्जाम्पल्स देना बहुत जरूरी है. जैसे कि यहाँ पर अगर मैंने आपको बोला कि सिटिंग एंड स्टैंडिंग पोस्चर दोनों ही डिपिक्ट होते थे, तो उसके साथ में हमने रिलेट करके एक एग्जाम्पल बता दिया कि श्रवस्ती में एक स्टैंडिंग बुद्धा है, और इससे जो हमारा पॉइंट है वो जस्टिफाई हो गया. ऑलराइट. तो स्टूडेंट्स, यहां तक हमने मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के इंपॉर्टेंट सेलेंट फीचर्स पढ़ लिए हैं. कैसे बुद्धा की इमेजरी में एवरी सेंचुरी क्या चेंजेस आए उनको समझा. We had understood that how the halo is an important part with respect to the Mathura school of art depiction of Lord Buddha, which is profusely decorated. Apart from this, we had also understood certain examples pertaining to Lord Buddha and his depiction. Now students, with this we have completed our discussion on the Mathura school of art. Now we are going to talk about the Gandhara school of art. अब जैसे कि हमने मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में पढ़ा था, सिमिलर लाइंस पे हम गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के भी फीचर्स को समझेंगे, wherein we will understand the area in which this particular school of art flourished. We will understand the dynasties which were patronizing the Gandhara school of art, the material of construction, and the important themes that are depicted in the Gandhara school of art. All right. Okay, let's begin, students. Now, students, the Gandhara school of art had developed in the 1st century AD. अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इसलिए है क्योंकि गांधारा और मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट कंटेम्पररी थे. वो भी 1st century AD में थे, ये भी 1st century AD में थे. So we have to remember that both of the schools had developed in the same time period. However, they were very different from each other, wherein one was indigenous, absolutely indigenous in nature, and on the other hand, the other school, that is the Gandhara school of art, had a lot of influences from other countries as well. All right. So 1st century AD, along with the Mathura school of art, during the reign of Kushan Emperor Kanishka. तो जो डायनेस्टी है वो अगेन क्योंकि सेम टाइम पीरियड है तो सेम डायनेस्टी होगी, दैट इज द कुषाण डायनेस्टी एंड द रूलर इज कनिष्क. All right. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that the Gandhar area was an ancient region in the Peshawar basin in the far northwest of the ancient Indian subcontinent. And right now, in the present day, it corresponds to the northwestern Pakistan and East Afghanistan. अगर आप इस इमेज को देखेंगे तो यहाँ पर आपको दिखेगा कि ये जो एरिया है, दिस एरिया कॉरेस्पॉन्ड्स टू द एरिया वेर इन दी गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट वाज फ्लरिशिंग. Now here in students, I would like to stop you and tell you the prominence of the region of Gandhara School of Art. जैसा कि अभी आपने देखा होगा जो गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट का प्रेजेंट डे रीजन है वो अब इंडिया में रहा भी नहीं है, वो पाकिस्तान और ईस्टर्न अफगानिस्तान की तरफ चला गया है. अब इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट स्टूडेंट्स ये है कि ये जो एरिया है ये हिस्टोरिकली ही एक कल्चरल कॉन्फ्लुएंस का एरिया रहा है. From the very ancient times, this particular area has been a confluence of many cultural identities. Why? Because this particular area has been time and again invaded by different ruling dynasties, and that is why whenever they leave behind the traces of their culture. And that is why the art that had developed in this particular region naturally had an influence from many other surrounding areas. Okay. Now, students, herein it will be important to note that the dynasties that were patronizing the Gandhara School of Art include the Shakas and the Kushana dynasty. Okay, now both of these dynasties were known for their sculptural representations of the Buddha in human form. अब मैंने आपको बताया कि मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के अंदर भी एक नई चीज स्टार्ट हुई थी. वो नई चीज ये थी कि बुद्धा को ह्यूमन फॉर्म में डिपिक्ट करना शुरू कर दिया था. सिमिलर लाइंस पे सेम टाइम पीरियड में गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट भी फ्लरिश हो रहा था और इन्होंने भी बुद्धा को ह्यूमन फॉर्म में डिपिक्ट करना शुरू कर दिया था. अंतर सिर्फ ये है कि जो मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट का डिपिक्शन था वो इंडिजिनस था और जो गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट का डिपिक्शन था दैट वाज अ कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द नियर बाय एरियाज एज वेल. दैट इज इट वाज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय मेनी अदर कल्चरल identities. Okay. Now, having said that, students, it will be important to note that the art of the Gandhara school was primarily Mahayana and shows Greco-Roman influence. Obviously, जब ह्यूमन फॉर्म में बुद्धा को डिपिक्ट करना शुरू किया है ये फीचर ही महायान बुद्धिज्म का है. एंड दैट इज वाई जो भी थीम्स थी जो गांधार स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में डिपिक्ट होती थी दे वर महायान इन नेचर. एंड एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू सिंस द एरिया वाज एज सच which was a confluence of cultural identities, that is why the Gandhara School of Art was particularly influenced by the Greco-Roman culture, that is the Greece and Roman area. Okay. Apart from the students, now we are going to talk about the salient features of the Gandhara School of Art. Now, as I've already told you that there was an immense influence of the Greco-Roman norms on the Gandhara school, wherein the Gandhara school encapsulates foreign techniques and an alien spirit. It is due to this particular reason that the Gandhara School of Art is also known as the Greco-Buddhist School of Art. ये एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. अगर कोई आपको ग्रेको बुद्धिस्ट स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट बोल रहा है तो आपको नेचुरली समझना पड़ेगा दैट दिस इज कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग टू द गांधार स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. व्हाई इट इज नोन एज द ग्रेको बुद्धिस्ट स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट? द रीजन आई हैव शोन यू फ्रॉम द मैप दैट इट वाज डेवलपिंग इन अ पर्टिकुलर एरिया व्हिच वाज एनीवे अ कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ मेनी कल्चरल आइडेंटिटीज. सो नेचुरली दिस पर्टिकुलर स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट हैड many influences, particularly that of the Greek and Roman culture. Now, students, we are going to talk about the choice of the material of construction that was taken by the Gandhara sculptures. Herein, students, the choice of construction was grey sandstone, and particularly the usage was of blue-grey mica schist. Okay, तो आपको ये दोनों नाम याद रखने हैं कि ग्रे सैंडस्टोन यूज होता था और पर्टिकुलरली ब्लू ग्रे माइका स्किस्ट यूज होती थी स्कल्पचर्स बनाने में गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के. Apart from the students, there were certain other materials that were also used in the construction of sculptures. However, they were not as dominant as the grey sandstone. Now, these materials include mud, lime, stucco, along with terracotta. Herein, it will be important to note that marble was not at all used in the Gandhara art. तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि यूपीएससी अगर स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन बना रहे होते हैं तो वो क्वेश्चन को उल्टा कर देते हैं, तो उसके अंदर वो एक साथ आपको 2-3 मटेरियल डाल देंगे एंड आपका ध्यान नहीं जाएगा कि उसमें मार्बल भी लिखा हुआ है एंड यू माइट टिक इट एज अ करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. So herein you have to particularly remember that marble was not at all used as a part of construction of Gandhara sculptures. All right. Apart from that, students, now I would like to give you a particular example that is the earliest example of the Gandhara School of Art, which was the Bimaran casket. Now the example is presented on your screen. This is known as Bimaran casket, and this was the earliest specimen of Gandhara art that has been yielded by the archaeologists. तो यहाँ तक स्टूडेंट्स आप समझ चुके हैं कि कैसे गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के साथ फ्लरिश हुआ था. अनलाइक मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट इसके ऊपर बहुत सारे इन्फ्लुएंस थे. इन्फ्लुएंस होने का कारण क्या था वो हमने समझ लिया. ये हमने समझ लिया कि गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट को ग्रेको बुद्धिस्ट स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट क्यों बोलते हैं, क्योंकि इसके अंदर ग्रीक्स और रोमन्स का इन्फ्लुएंस था. उसके अलावा हमने ये समझ लिया कि क्या क्या मटेरियल गांधारा स्कूल के स्कल्पचर्स को बनाने में लगता था और क्या मटेरियल बिल्कुल भी यूज नहीं होता था. All right. Now, students, we are going to talk about some of the major centers of the Gandhara School of Art. जैसे हमने मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में पढ़ा था, there was Mathura, there was Sarnath, etc. Similarly, now we are going to understand certain important centers of the Gandhara School of Art. Now, these include areas such as Jalalabad, Hadda, Bamaran, Begram, and Takshila. So you have to remember the names of all the major centers which were flourishing as a part of the Gandhara School of Art. Now, students, comes the most important point. Like the Mathura School of Art, we are going to talk about the imagery of Buddha in Gandhara art. This is very, very important. Almost all the questions with respect to sculptures pertaining to Gandhara and Mathura art comes from these sections. Now, before starting the students, I would like to tell you that unlike the Mathura School of Art, wherein there was depiction of Buddhism, Jainism, and Brahmanical deities, in the Gandhara School of Art, the only depiction that we see is pertaining to Buddha and Buddhism. All right. तो यहाँ पे एक ही रिलीजन का डिपिक्शन हो रहा है. मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में 3 रिलीजन्स थे, जैनिज्म, बुद्धिज्म एंड ब्रह्मानिकल डेइटीज. All right. Now, students, we are going to start with the imagery of Buddha in Gandhara art. Now, students, as I had already told you that Gandhara art is influenced by many cultural identities. Under that, it will be important to note that the Buddha image in the Gandhara school was inspired by the Hellenistic realism. जहां भी Hellenistic का term आती है उसका मतलब है Greek. All right, Hellenistic माने Greek. So when the time period in which the Greek were trying to assert their dominance in nearby areas, that period is known as the Hellenistic time period. And in that point of time, certain types of art and culture had evolved, certain features had evolved, which are known as the Hellenistic features. And these are certain features that are also incorporated in the Gandhara school of art, particularly in the imagery of Buddha. All right. Apart from that, students, it will be important to note that not only was the Gandhara school of art influenced by the Greek and Roman traditions, it was also influenced by certain features of Central Asian countries, wherein it was influenced by the traditions of Persian, Scythian and Parthian models. अब ये जो तीनों जगह हैं, ये प्रेजेंट डे में ईरान और यूरोप के कुछ पार्ट्स में एग्जिस्ट करती हैं. उस टाइम पे इनको पर्शिया, सिथिया एंड पार्थियन बोला जाता था और इनके जो फीचर्स थे ये भी गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट में हमें देखने को मिलते हैं. तो जनरली क्या होता है जब हम गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट की बात करते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स रिमेंबर दैट देयर इज एन इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ ग्रीक्स एंड रोमन्स ऑन द गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट, बट व्हाट दे टेंड टू फॉरगेट इज दैट देयर इज आल्सो एन इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ सेंट्रल एशियन पावर्स इन द गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट such as the Persians, Scythians and Parthians, and that is why this particular point will be important for you guys. All right. Now, students, as I've already told you that in contrast to the Mathura school, the Gandhara school images are known for their anatomical accuracy. जब हम पीछे वाले स्लाइड में पढ़ रहे थे तो मैंने आपको बताया था कि मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के अंदर जैसे बुद्धा को डिपिक्ट किया जाता था, इनिशियली वो बहुत ही रोबस्ट फ्लैशी फिगर था, एनाटॉमिकल एक्यूरेसी पे ध्यान नहीं दिया जाता था. लेकिन क्योंकि गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट बहुत ज्यादा ग्रेको रोमन ट्रेडिशन से इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, इसकी वजह से उनके अंदर वो रियलिज्म का सेंस, रियलिज्म का आइडिया स्कल्प्टर्स के माइंड में था, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे हैड कंप्लीटली फॉलोड द एक्यूरेसी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एनाटॉमी व्हिच इज डिपिक्टेड इन द imagery of Buddha of Gandhara school of art. All right. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that in the Gandhara school, the Buddha's curls were altered into wavy hair, and the head of Buddha matched very much with the Greek Apollo god. अब यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स आपको ये याद रखना है कि क्या क्या चेंजेस हैं बुद्धा की इमेजरी में, वो आपको बहुत ही पर्टिकुलरली याद रखने हैं, जो कि इस पॉइंट में दिए गए हैं. इस पॉइंट में यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट द इमेजरी ऑफ बुद्धा वाज वेरी मच मॉडल्ड ऑन द ग्रीक गॉड अपोलो, एंड द सेम हैज बीन शोन ऑन योर स्क्रीन. So this is Apollo and this is Buddha. You can see that the stylization is very much similar. Both of them have curly wavy hair. There is elongated ears, etc. And this shows that how there was an influence of the Greek and Roman cultures on the Gandhara school of art. All right. Now, students, apart from this, I want to tell you one important feature that is a part of the Gandhara school of art, that is different mudras in which Buddha has been shown seated in the Gandhara art. So students, basically there are 4 mudras. By mudras, we mean the gestures of the hand. All right. So whatever gesture you will see that in every sculpture that is shown with respect to Buddha, there are certain gestures which are depicted, whether it's like this, and these all tend to symbolize certain aspects. So in the Gandhara school of art, there are 4 gestures that are particularly depicted, or 4 mudras. Okay. Now under that, students, the first one is Abhay Mudra. The meaning of Abhay Mudra is to not fear. All right. So freedom from fear is something that is depicted in the Abhay Mudra. Abhay Mudra is something like this. It is depicted on your screen. All right. Then the next important mudra in which Buddha is shown in the Gandhara art is the Dhyana Mudra. By Dhyana Mudra, we can know naturally it is pertaining to meditation. So the second picture that is depicted here is the Dhyana Mudra. Now the third depiction is pertaining to the Dharma Chakra Mudra, wherein it is corresponding to a preaching mudra. So the hand gesture is in such a manner wherein Buddha is trying to teach something to his pupils. And the same has been presented on your screen. That is the third picture. And finally, students, the fourth important hand gesture that is depicted in Gandhara art is the Bhumi Sparsh Mudra. Bhumi Sparsh ka matlab hota hai touching the earth, and this is something which is again presented on your screen, and this is the fourth important hand gesture that is depicted in the Gandhara art with respect to Lord Buddha. तो आपको ये फीचर्स याद रखने हैं, इन मुद्रा का नाम याद रखना है, और इन मुद्रा क्या डिपिक्ट करती हैं, इनका मीनिंग क्या होता है, इनको आपको याद रखना है. ऑलराइट. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द इन्फ्लुएंसेस. अभी तक मैं आपको बार बार बताए जा रही हूँ कि गांधारा आर्ट के अंदर बहुत सारे जो डिफरेंट एरियाज थे उनका इन्फ्लुएंस है. अब वो इन्फ्लुएंस क्या था, दैट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इन द नेक्स्ट 3 स्लाइड्स. Now, students, as I told you that there was a prominent Central Asian influence on the depiction of Buddha with respect to Gandhara school of art, wherein you can see that most of the features are particularly owed to the Parthian culture. कैसे? इसके हम examples in pointers से देखेंगे. Now, students, the drapery of Buddha statues is similar to the Parthian, which is modern Iran drapery in the Hellenistic cultures. So this particular kind of drapery, अब जैसे मैंने आपको मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के एग्जांपल दिया था, वहां पे इतना रियलिस्टिक तरह से ड्रेपिंग नहीं हो रखी है, ठीक है. जबकि यहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे तो एकदम क्लियरली सारे फोल्ड्स दिख रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत ही रियलिज्म मैनर के अंदर बुद्धा को डिपिक्ट किया गया है. और ये जो ड्रेपरी स्टाइल है, ये पार्थियन ड्रेपरी से बहुत ज्यादा मैच करती है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी कैन सी एन इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द पार्थियन कल्चर इन द इमेजरी ऑफ बुद्धा इन द गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. ऑलराइट. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that the curly or the wavy hair of Buddha statue also resembles with certain similarity of Parthian style, and the disc-shaped halo, again it is present here, is around the Buddha's head is similar to the Persian culture of reverence to sun. अब अगर आप देखेंगे तो जो पर्शियन कल्चर के अंदर जैसे गॉड्स को या गॉडेसेस को डिपिक्ट किया जाता था, तो उनके पीछे एक पर्टिकुलर हेलो टाइप का होता था, विच वाज काइंड ऑफ डिपिक्टिंग द सन. All right. And this is something that has also been taken while representing Lord Buddha in the Gandhara School of Art, and that has Persian influence. And herein we can identify or establish the fact that how there was a Central Asian influence on the depiction of Lord Buddha with respect to Gandhara School of Art. All right, students. तो हमने सेंट्रल एशियन फीचर्स पढ़ लिए. अब हम पढ़ेंगे कि क्या रोमन इन्फ्लुएंस था गांधारा आर्ट के ऊपर. हमने समझा था कि इसको ग्रेको रोमन स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट बोलते हैं. तो उसके अंदर हम डिवाइड कर रहे हैं. पहले हम रोमन इन्फ्लुएंस पढ़ेंगे, फिर हम ग्रीक इन्फ्लुएंस के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. ऑलराइट. Okay, students. Now, with respect to the Roman influence, you need to know that the legendary interpretation of Buddha is sometimes presented through Roman motifs such as the Triton. Okay. अब Triton क्या होता है? Triton is basically, if you have seen Aquaman, he's carrying this particular Triton. Okay. This Trishul kind of thing. Okay. So this is Triton and this is specifically ascribed to the Roman motifs. रोमन्स ने सबसे पहले इस तरह के मोटिव्स को यूज करना शुरू किया था एंड इसी तरह के मोटिव्स आपको बुद्धा की इमेजरी में भी दिखेंगे गांधारा आर्ट में. And that is why such kind of motifs are important because they are suggestive of how the Gandhara art is influenced by the Roman traditions. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that with respect to the artistic interpretation, the Buddha of Gandhara is presented through Roman art techniques such as using wine scroll or the cherubs bearing garlands, etc. इसका मतलब ये होता है स्टूडेंट्स कि अगर आप कोई बुद्धा का स्कल्पचर देखेंगे तो उनके बैकग्राउंड को भी हमें ऑब्जर्व करना होता है. तो बैकग्राउंड के अंदर जब गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट का डिपिक्शन होता है तो बैकग्राउंड में कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जो कि बहुत ज्यादा रोमन इन्फ्लुएंस की हैं, जैसे कि चेरब्स बियरिंग गार्लैंड्स. चेरब्स क्या होते हैं? इफ यू गाइज नो, इफ यू वुड हैव सीन दोस मिनी एंजल्स, स्मॉल किड्स bearing wings and carrying certain garlands in their hands, which is very typical of the Roman tradition. So that is something which is also depicted in the imagery of Buddha in the background. All right. So these are certain features that are common between the Roman and the Gandhara depictions, and that is why there is a Roman influence on Gandhara art. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that the tradition of the representation of Buddha in human form is inspired from Roman anthropomorphic tradition. Anthropomorphic का मतलब होता है human like features, human depiction. तो जो human depiction बुद्धा का हो रहा है, that is absolutely influenced from the Roman style, wherein the depiction of Buddha in human form has a lot of features in the manner wherein the Romans used to create their sculptures. Okay. So we have to remember that the motifs and the anthropomorphic tradition is something that has been taken as an influence from the Roman style in the Gandhara school of art. Apart from the students, another important influence that can be seen is pertaining to the dresses. That is, the dresses of Lord Buddha is something that bears a similarity from the sculptures of the Roman period. Okay. Now, the outer robe of Buddha of the Gandhar, such as the Kaya and the Antarvasa, resembles to the attire of Roman gods. तो जो रोमन गॉड्स का अटायर होता था उनको भी इसी तरह का रोब पहने हुए बहुत ज्यादा देखा जाता था. और ये जो रोब का डिपिक्शन है ये कंप्लीटली रोमन गॉड से कॉपी करके इसमें गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के अंदर आपको डिपिक्ट किया गया है. तो हम यहाँ पर ये याद रखेंगे कि सर्टेन मोटिव्स, the artistic interpretation, the anthropomorphic tradition, that is the depiction of Buddha in human form, along with the dresses or the robes which Buddha used to wear, bore an influence from the Roman traditions. तो स्टूडेंट्स, हमने अभी तक सेंट्रल एशियन ट्रेडिशन का जो इन्फ्लुएंस है गांधारा आर्ट पे, रोमन ट्रेडिशन का जो इन्फ्लुएंस है गांधारा आर्ट पे, ये दोनों चीजें पढ़ ली हैं. अब जो तीसरी चीज हम पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज पर्टेनिंग टू द ग्रीक इन्फ्लुएंसेस ऑन द गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. Now, students, herein there are 4 important points that stand out particularly in suggesting that how the Gandhara school of art was taking a lot of influence from the Greek cultural style. First of all, students, it will be important to note that the Greek god as protector, that is, many images of Buddha in Gandhara has been seen under the protection of Greek god Hercules. इसका मतलब ये है स्टूडेंट्स कि बहुत सारी इमेजेस बुद्धा की ऐसी है जिनमें उनके पीछे एक पर्टिकुलर गॉड खड़े हैं जिनको हरक्यूलिस से आइडेंटिफाई किया जाता है, हु इज द प्रोटेक्टर ऑफ लॉर्ड बुद्धा. So a Greek god as protector is being shown in the sculptures of Gandhara School of Art. And this particular Greek god is identified as Hercules and he is said to be protecting Lord Buddha. So ऑटोमेटिकली अगर आप कोई ग्रीक गॉड को ही स्कल्पचर के अंदर दिखा देंगे तो नेचुरली हमें पता है कि ये इन्फ्लुएंस तो ग्रीक स्कूल से है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी कैन सी द सिंबलिज्म and the influence of Greek school of art on Gandhara sculptures. All right. Next, students, another important influence is pertaining to the depiction of Vajrapani. अब वज्रपनी एक बोधिसत्व थे, but वज्रपनी literally also translates to the something which is in the right hand of Buddha. So Vajrapani is something which is found in the right hand of future Buddha, and it is transformed symbol of Hercules, who is seen as the protector of Buddha. यानी कि स्टूडेंट्स जो वज्रपनी थे, इट इज इन द हैंड, राइट हैंड ऑफ लॉर्ड बुद्धा, एंड इट लिटरली ट्रांसफॉर्म्स इनटू हरक्यूलिस, which is again a Greek god, and this is something that has been again presented in the Gandhara School of Art, thus establishing the relevance pertaining to the influence of Greeks on the Gandhara School of Art. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that there is also an influence of Greek architecture with respect to the background of Gandhara School of Art, wherein some images of Buddha in Gandhar are presented in Greek architectural environment. यानी कि अगर आप देखेंगे कोई बड़ा स्कल्पचर है और उसके पीछे कोई सर्टन बिल्डिंग्स दिखाई जा रही हैं, तो उन बिल्डिंग्स का जो आर्किटेक्चर है वो बहुत ज्यादा ग्रीक आर्किटेक्चर के बेसिस पे मॉडल्ड है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दिस पॉइंट अगेन टेल्स अस दैट देयर वाज सो मच ग्रीक इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन द गांधार स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that another important feature which is depicting Greek influence is pertaining to the artistic beauty. अब इसमें से एक एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको पहले ही बता चुकी हूँ, दैट इज द फेस ऑफ बुद्धा वाज मॉडल्ड अपॉन द ग्रीक गॉड अपोलो. The picture has also been shown to you. Let me go back to it. So herein we can see that this is Greek god Apollo and this is Buddha, and there is a lot of similarity pertaining to their depiction, and that is something that suggests that there was a Greek influence on the imagery of Buddha of the Gandhara School of Art. Apart from the students, it will be important to note that in the depiction of Buddha in the Gandhara school, there is a certain natural realism, which is again a Hellenistic feature, a Greek feature. Also, the wavy hair as Buddha in Gandhar is something that has been taken from the imagery of Greek gods. Also, students, sometimes Buddha is depicted with a mustache and a urn. This is an important point, students. Urn is basically a dot or a third eye. I will show you the same. So you can see that there is this particular dot or a third eye, which is depicted here. And this is something which has again been taken from the depiction of Greek gods. So face like Apollo, natural realism, the way his hair was being sculpted, the dresses which he was wearing, particularly the robes, and the urn or the third eye is something that has been taken from the Greeks. And all these features, but along with the elongated earlobes, resembles to the Hellenistic tradition. तो ये जो सारे फीचर्स हैं, ये हमारे को बहुत ही क्लियर कट दिखाते हैं कि कैसे ग्रीक गॉड्स और बुद्धा की इमेजरी में बहुत ज्यादा सिमिलैरिटी थी. ऑलराइट, सो स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पर हमने सारे इन्फ्लुएंसेस समझ लिए हैं, सारे इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर्स समझ लिए हैं गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर गोइंग टू टेक अ क्विक recap in a tabular manner wherein we are going to compare the Mathura and Gandhara School of Art, and after this I'm going to complete my discussion, then you can ask your questions. So students, first of all, we are going to talk about the origin of Mathura and Gandhara School of Art. Now, as you remember, I have told you that both of these Mathura and Gandhara School of Art had started flourishing at the same time period during the same dynasty, that is the 1st century AD, and the dynasty was the Kushana dynasty. Now, with respect to the influences, you must know that there was no foreign influence in the Mathura School of Art. However, there was a strong Greek influence along with Roman and certain Central Asian influence such as the Achaemenian, Parthian and Bactrian traditions, which can be seen in the sculptures of Gandhara School of Art. Now, students, herein it will be important to note that after some point of time, when I was talking about the imagery of Buddha with respect to Mathura school, I had told you that how initially it was more plumpy, but later on the fleshiness was reduced. And it is because of this that after some point of time, the Mathura school of art also cross-fertilized with the Gandhara school or the depiction of Buddha. Okay, so we can see that there is no foreign influence with respect to the origin of Mathura school, whereas there was a strong influence of the Greco-Roman and Central Asian traditions on the Gandhara imagery. Okay, apart from the students, it will be important to note that only Yaksha images were depicted initially in the Mathura school of art, and later on it started depicting the images of Jainism, Buddhism, and Brahmanical deities. However, the Gandhara school of art from its very beginning was depicting the images of Buddha and the ideals and the bodhisattvas with respect to Buddhism. Okay. Now, students, with respect to the material of construction, we had understood that spotted red sandstone was used in the Mathura school of art, whereas blue-gray mica schist or gray sandstone was used in the Gandhara school of art. मटीरियल ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन को जरूर याद रखना है, ये पॉइंट आपको अपने आंसर में डालना ही डालना है. Okay, now students, next we are going to talk about the image features. So initially we had seen that there was a very fleshy body in the Mathura school of art with respect to the depiction of Lord Buddha. However, in the later periods, that is around the 3rd and 4th century AD, this particular fleshiness was reduced. Also, students, there was not such anatomical accuracy in the depiction of Lord Buddha in the Mathura school of art. Whereas in Gandhara school of art, there were finer and realistic details. Buddha was carved out in various mudras. We had spoken about 4 mudras in our previous slides. Also, students, there was anatomical accuracy, there was spatial depth, and there was curly hair depiction. ऑलराइट, तो आपको इमेज के अंदर कैसे मथुरा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के बुद्धा का डिपिक्शन कैसे डिफरेंट है गांधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट के डिपिक्शन से, ये आपको जरूर याद रखना है, और इनका पॉइंट वाइज फॉर्मेट आपको इस पर्टिकुलर टेबल से मिल जाएगा. Apart from the students, there was this particular feature, that is the halo around Lord Buddha, wherein in the Mathura school of art, this particular halo around the head of Buddha was profusely decorated, whereas the halo around the Buddha of Gandhara school of art was not decorated as such. Okay, so these are certain points that differentiates between the Mathura and Gandhara school of art. At the same time, they will tell you the main features pertaining to both these schools. So students, with this, I have completed my discussion on this particular lecture. Now I'm going to take the questions which you guys have. All right, I see nobody is here today. I hope you are still not celebrating Diwali. Anyway, students, with this, I am completing my discussion. In case you have any doubts or you want to ask anything, feel free to comment below on the video. I will answer each and every of your question. Thank you so much and have a nice day. If you like our content, students, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon, and go visit our app, that is Skholar.com, and our website.